Hello Stampers! I've got a pretty little mountain reflection card for you today using the Stampin' Up! Peaceful Deer stamp set. I just love the tree images in this because there's different sizes and you can use them for different projects, and they just work out so well in your scenes that you create for your cards. So I mainly want to show you this technique that I use to do the mountain reflections. So we're going to start and we're going to go step by step through this project. And I'm going to start out with a basic white panel that is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then we're going to take 2 post-it notes. These are 3 by 5. And I'm going to take 2 post-it notes and I'm going to take them apart. And then I'm going to stick the sticky parts facing each other. So they're sticky here and they're sticky on the back of this one, and I'm going to have them facing each other. So this way when we tear our post-it note, we'll be able to get a reflection image that's the same as the upright image. And you'll understand here in a minute. So I have them stuck together, sticky facing the sticky, right? So there's no sticky here and there's no sticky on the back. They're stuck together. Okay. And now I'm going to rip some mountain shapes in this. And I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to rip a mountain shape. And I want to do these mountain shapes kind of, you know, different sizes, different shapes. And so we're going to start like that. And then we're going to take these apart. Okay? And one we're going to use as our reflective side, and one it will be the upright side. And see how they match now because we had them facing each other. And you can like tilt these so that your mountain shapes aren't just like straight across. So that's what I'm going to do up here at the top of the cardstock. And then I'm going to take this one and match that. I think I'll lower this one just a little bit here so we have some sky area. There we go. And then I'll do the same, I'll tilt this one the same way so we have the reflection part. You might have to fuss with it just a minute just to get it right where you want it. There we go. So I have my mountains reflecting each other. If you can see that. And now I'm going to start with balmy blue ink and a blending brush. And I'm going to blend balmy blue ink in here in these mountain shape areas. Just going to fill this whole thing in. Now your post-it note might not have sticky all over it, so make sure you hold down any points that don't have sticky, like right there is lifted up. And if you put your brush half on and half off those points, it kind of holds it down as you're doing a circular motion here. Okay, so I have them filled in with balmy blue. Then I'm going to go a little darker, and I'm going to bring in some Pacific Point. Staying with a blending brush here. And I want this at the top of my mountains. So it's a little darker there. And then I want to do it lighter on this side. This is the reflective side, so I want this side lighter. So I'm just putting a little bit on this side. All right. So that was Pacific Point, and then we're going to go to Smoky Slate. So I'm going to grab a gray brush here. And I'm going to put some at the top of the mountains here just to get some gray going. I love Smoky Slate. It's like one of my favorite neutrals. So I added some there, and I'm going to very lightly add some here. And now I'm going to keep the Smoky Slate out, and I'm going to take a Post-it note. And I'm going to divide these mountain shapes in half here. And you want to see, make sure you got this kind of straight across. Here we go. And I'm going to add some Smoky Slate along this edge of the Post-it note. And this will give you like your horizon line where your water will meet your mountains. Okay, so I have that on there. And now we're going to do a big reveal here, and we're going to take these Post-it notes off. See that line that we got from that gray on in the middle there? There's our reflective side, and there is our upright side. And now I'm going to add some Balmy Blue at the top and the bottom for our sky color. So I'm going to go back to Balmy Blue here. I'm just going to add some at the top and the bottom of our panel here. I like to leave some light area in the mountains. This is our water side here. We're going to do the same thing because our water is just a reflection of the sky and the mountains. Okay, so let's get some trees going in here. So I'm going to take another Post-it note, and I'm going to add it about an inch from the bottom here. And I'm going to stamp this tree image from the Peaceful Deer stamp set. And I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black to stamp these trees. And I want my trees to be different sizes. So I'm going to stamp part of it on the Post-it note and part of it. So here's the Post-it note, and I'm going to stamp one pretty tall here. Now my next tree, I'm not going to stamp as tall. So I've come down a little bit. And then I'm going to do another one. There we go. So we have 3 trees. There's a bit of a gap here. I think I just want to add another little short tree there. There we go. So it like goes off the page. So now I'm going to move this Post-it note down a bit. Now I'm going to say 1/4 of an inch down below our trees. Then I'm going to take my Memento Tuxedo Black again, and this time I'm going to take a sponge and I'm going to pounce in a little like island shape for them to be sitting on. And I'm pouncing this so it's nice and dark, and it'll come down to a point here past the trees. And when I use a sponge, you get like a frilliness to it. It's not just solid. So it looks like grasses and such on the little island. So I'm going to take that off. And now we want some gray down here below our trees. Like that's the reflection of our trees, will be like a gray area. So I'm going to go back to Smoky Slate and a blending brush. I'm going to blend in some gray here where the trees would be reflecting. There we go. And you don't want to go, any further than where your trees are. You can put it in quite strong if you'd like. So there is that. And of course your mountains are going to look different depending on how you rip them the post-it notes each time. So like this one, they were more rounded, and I have more pointy mountains in this one. You know, they're all good. So now I think we need some, we're going to put some dots in our tree. Like they might have some snow on them, and I'm just using dots. And I'm going to do this quickly because I don't want to get real uniform with these little dots. So I'm just adding them in my trees. I like to leave some gaps where it's dark. And then I'm also going to add some dots along our little island here. And now it's time we can add some water lines. So I'm going to add some lines in the water. And these are all just little short lines. And they show up best, of course, where the ink is darkest on your paper. And it shows up in this gray area. And that just gives you the look of water. It gives it a little sparkle like. Okay, so now we're all ready to put this on our card. And I have the card put all together here. And I started out with a basic gray card base. And it's 5.5 by 8.5. And when you fold that in half, you get a quarter card. So that is our card base. And on top of that, I have a Smoky Slate panel that is 4 by 5.25. And then I have a basic gray panel that is 3 7/8 by 4 7/8. So that is the top of our card. And all the dimensions for this card, along with all of the products used, are down below this video. Just click show more and you'll see them there. And right now, this month, if you place an order with me, you will receive 10 free tutorials that are just exclusive for my customers. So keep that in mind when you place your order this month. And inside this card, I just have a Smoky Slate panel, and it's the same size as this one here, which is 4 and 5.25. So you'll just cut 2 of those when you go to cut them. And then we're going to just adhere this to our card front. And I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue here. Add some love in the card, right? And I'm going to add it here to this gray panel. I didn't do any ribbon or anything with this panel because I just felt like it didn't need it, that the scene just stood alone, and I just love mountain reflections. So there is our card for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you give it a try. Thanks for joining me. Bye.